Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It's your boy Slushy, bringing you guys to probably one of the strongest builds that I've ever used in my entire life. Recently, I put together a freaking insane, crazy build, and we're about to get into that build video. But first, I want to just give you guys a sneak peek of what the build is capable of. And we got a montage coming soon. So enjoy the clips and then we will get into the build. If you guys want to see more of my content and enjoy the content that I've been making recently, you can follow me live on twitch.tv/purpaleslushy. I stream almost every day, so I hope to see you guys there. So let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, I'm going to keep it short, sweet, and to the point. As you could see, this build is absolutely a tremendous monster inside of PvP. On last week's build, I came to you guys and brought you guys Oakfather and Rallying Cry, which is a really strong build that focuses on high DPS while also having a lot of AoE damage with how DK is built. So I wanted to build upon the AoE damage and maximize it to its fullest potential. And I thought, what better way to do it than actually turning my DK into a Dragon Bomber? With that being said, I went ahead and threw on VD. So let's go ahead and take a look at the build. Starting out first, what I have on is going to be VD. And inside of VD, I got 2 swords, 1 disease, and 1 physical damage. Physical damage always procs Sunder, which is a really good effect, so I highly recommend having 1 physical damage glyph as well as a disease damage glyph, because disease is going to reduce the user's healing. Now I'm rocking swords on this build. I think Bis would probably be maces, giving you the best amount of penetration during your fights while you have no uptime on corrosive. Yes, there's no real point in running maces when you're in corrosive, as corrosive completely strips their armor, but all the times when they're not in corrosive, you're going to be getting all that extra pen for the maces, making maces probably the best option for this build. Both sharpened. The next piece of gear that I have on is going to be the Rallying Cry Ice Staff. I do use a weapon damage enchant, as well as having a defending. Ice Staff allows you to block using Magicka, and when I'm on my front bar, I have dual wield, giving me the option to have Stam and Magicka as blocking options, ultimately producing the best benefit of Mag and Stam resource usage to give myself the ultimate chance to survive inside of Cyrodiil. Next up is going to be probably the best set on DK right now, being Bloodspawn. Bloodspawn is really important on DK as it gives you all of that ultimate generation. When it comes to DK right now, the strongest part of it is going to be that corrosive. And getting to your ult as fast as possible is super important, especially when being outnumbered. It gives you the highest chance of survivability and also gives you the highest chance of killing options as you're getting your ultimate as fast as possible. I'm also rocking a heavy chest of trainee. This is going to be my one flex spot. Whenever you rock a build that has a mythic, you always have an option for one flex spot, and that flex spot is usually Gallant Chain. Being a heavy reinforced armor piece, this gives me extra protection, as well as also giving me 1500 extra health. Next is going to be Bloodspawn Shoulder, and this is going to be medium. Down below, I have Light Rallying Cry in pen, and then 3 pieces of Vicious Death on the body as well, all in pen. I'm rocking 4 light, 1 medium, and 2 heavy. When it comes to traits on your build, you want to make sure that you have all in pen, except for your chest. You want to make sure that's reinforced, giving you the best option for defenses, as impenetrable makes you resistant to critical strikes. For jewelry, I'm rocking 3 pieces of Swift, each giving me 7% movement speed, and that is the trait. As far as what the jewelry is, Rallying Cry, and Monomyth, each having a spell and weapon damage enchant on them, but also having Swift at the same time, giving me that 21% increased movement speed. Now that increased movement speed is going to stack on top of the movement speed that I'm going to be getting from Major Expedition from Wings, which is another 30%, putting me at 51%. Last but not least, when it comes to movement speed for the build, you're also going to be rocking Celerity, as Celerity is going to give you an extra 10%, so giving you a total of 61% movement speed inside of Cyrodiil, making you absolutely impossible to catch, as DKs can actually infinitely sustain when they're running because of Soul of Flame, giving you the option to be able to take the fight anywhere you want on the map, and always being able to reset the fight at any point in time by just making people chase you and get to where you want. Now let's talk about the CP inside of the build. The CP that I'm rocking, Cleansing Revival, very important, as DK doesn't have a purge. You're going to want a way to get those dots off of you in Cyrodiil. No better option than having a free Purify once every 24 seconds when you get below 25% health. As soon as you heal, it's going to purge you. Master at Arms, increasing my damage done with direct damage attacks by 6%. Ironclad, reducing my damage taken by 6%. And Duelist Rebuff reduces my damage taken by single target attacks by 6% as well. When it comes to the red tree, the best setup I found for myself is going to be Celerity for that extra movement speed. Survival Instincts, this is going to be basically giving you 25% cost reduction on all things such as roll dodging, blocking, sprinting, things of that nature, which are core combat skills. They're all going to cost 25% less, giving you increased sustain and increased longevity throughout your trials and tribulations when you're going into Cyrodiil and you take on big fights. Next is going to be Pain's Refuge, reduces your damage taken by 2% for every 2 negative effects on you, up to a maximum of 20%. And last but not least, Sustained by Suffering, giving me an extra 150 health, magic, and stamina recovery while I am under the effect of a status effect. Green Tree is going to be pretty simple. War Mount for extra movement speed outside of combat, Gifted Rider for 10% mount speed, and 20% movement speed by Steed's Blessing. The last thing on the build is going to be Race and also Mundus. Race is going to be Dark Elf. The reason why I'm Dark Elf is because it's going to give me this max stam. This isn't really what I picked this for. What I picked this for is the pure fact there's so many DKs this patch. You want to get as much flame resistance as possible, and no better place to do that than going Dark Elf. Last but not least, you also increase your weapon and spell damage by 258. When it comes to the actual Mundus I'm rocking the Shadow, and then I also use Bewitched Sugar Skulls as my food source. You don't need to rock Warzagas, as you don't need the recovery, since you can infinitely sustain on this build. Last but not least, when it comes to skills, I have on Soul of Flame, Shatter Spike Mantle. This is a new skill that I recently started using called Shatter Knife. This is a scribing skill, and this allows you to apply off balance to multiple users. There's one important thing that I want to show you about this skill, and it's very important that whenever you're using this, you're making sure that whenever you build it, you're building it with the multi-target effect to allow you to set multiple people off balance in a fight, giving you the best chance to proc your Flame Lash mid-combat. You also want to make sure that you have the DK Mastery script on you. As you can read, it says for each enemy within 8 meters, up to 6, you gain 50 weapon and spell damage and reduce your damage taken by 2% plus 1% for every enemy for 5 seconds. So not only are you getting 22% damage mitigation with 6 enemies on you, but you're also getting like 300 or 400 extra spell and weapon damage, which is absolutely amazing. The other skills on the build is going to be Fleet Step Wings, which is going to get people off of you, and it's also going to reduce damage that you're taking. Flame Lash, I like this morph better than the other morph because when I'm going into my corrosive, the main objective of this build is to get 1 kill. Once you kill one person, everyone else around them will die. So using Flame Lash and having 5 whips in a row that are insane damage is going to give you your best option of getting that kill. Take Flight on the front bar. The back bar, Igneous Weapons, which is going to be my major brutality and sorcery buff. Blood of the Elder Dragon, this is going to be giving me a crazy heal, as well as giving me major fortitude and minor courage, increasing my health recovery by 30% and my weapon and spell damage by 215 for 20 seconds. Vigor, best hot or HOT in the game when it comes to healing over time. Incinerate, which is going to apply burning, 15% chance, also increasing my spell and weapon crit. DK within this build doesn't really have a lot of crit, so being able to have that Incinerate is going to help a lot. Disintegrating Dragonfire, this is going to allow you to be able to pop that major breach on your enemies, and last but not least, we have Corrosive Armor. So with all that being said, this build all revolves around you popping Corrosive, mashing people with your lashes, and then praying to God that you kill one, and in so doing so, you're proccing the Vicious Death on them. With that being said, let's take a quick moment to go over a couple of things for the build that I think might be helpful for you guys whenever you take your fights into Cyrodiil. The first thing that I want to talk to you about is going to be your actual rotation that you're going to be doing on mobs. Well, not on mobs, but on players. So you want to make sure that you're fully buffed like this. And now, when it comes to actually doing your combo, this is how it works. You're going to pop your flame to make sure that you're getting that major breach. Then you're going to go Soul of Flame. You're going to use the knife for the off balance. Once you get the off balance, you're going to proc your whip to get your whip procced. And then you can start going in with the damage. And your first whip that you do should be timed perfectly to go off with Soul of Flame, which I can show you how to do right now. All we have to do is wait a few more seconds for this whip to go down, and I will show you how the combo actually looks. You also want to pop Corrosive after you get your off balance, but most of the time what I do is I'll do it from my back bar, and then I'll proc my Soul of Flame, and then I'll proc like my Flame Lash. But sometimes you have to make sure that you get your Flame Lash first before you pop your Corrosive, just because sometimes it's really hard to get that off. So I'm going to show you the combo that I do most of the time, and let's get to it. So this is what it looks like. You saw how that first whip actually went off with Soul of Flame at the same time. And what that is doing is an insane 11k AoE damage on top of another 17k Flame Whip on top of their head. And that's buffed without having my back bar spell and weapon damage buff up. And that also doesn't amount to the DK Mastery Script passive, which is going to increase your spell and weapon damage as well. So that AoE burst damage as well as the whip will hit way harder. So all in all, this is what it's going to look like all together if you're going to use your ult with it. You want to make sure that you don't just spam all 5 whips. Unless they're low, you can, but what you want to make sure that you're doing, I can't talk. What you want to make sure that you're doing is making sure that whenever you are whipping, you're consistently keeping up your Soul of Flame, as that's going to give you a ton of damage over time. Not damage over time, but a ton of damage, well, kind of over time, but those big bombs that are going to be going off with your whips are really, really important that you're synchronizing that all together. When it comes to pure DK, it's a class all about making sure that you sync up everything together. And once you sync up everything together, you're able to explode people and do crazy things. I hope that with this build video, you guys are able to actually slay it down in Cyrodiil. And hopefully I don't get bombed by one of you guys. But if I do, I couldn't be more proud. Thank you guys so much for watching this YouTube video. If you guys like my content and want to see more, go ahead and follow me on twitch.tv/purpleslushy. Until next time, it's been your boy. Peace.